unbelievable how much life changes in just 7 days. First of all, we have a major event take place to where all of the nation's cities seem to go up in flames at some point. That's not something that we have seen a lot in my area, because if such a thing happened, I would not know what to do. I'm not going to discuss it. I'm not going to get involved in something that's very sensitive. So we're going to completely skip that matter. In addition, I had expressed at my job that I need to have my hours adjusted a little bit, just by an hour and a half, since I asked the mighty question of, is this going to be how my weeks are going to look like regularly in regards to that crazy 4 a.m. shift that they have been tossing around? Nobody could give me a concrete answer except, well, it's not going primarily to anybody except so-and-so person because this person expressed interest. And then I said, well, that's not the problem with me. The problem with me is that I was not informed that this was going to take place, regardless of me stating that I have no interest in it. But if it's something you need me to do, I am willing to do it. Just inform me so that I can make the proper adjustments. In the end, I took the matter into my own hands and I decided to adjust my own hours. And now the person responsible for my department came to me and said, well, you need to be available for certain specific times where our business is a little at its highest so that we can give you the hours that you're used to, because if you give us this, then that's not a guarantee. And I'm like, what is the problem? I am just amending it by an hour and a half. You are hiring new people. And in addition, my skills tend to favor these hours anyway. All I'm doing is protecting myself from something insane. Like, I get off at 6 p.m. and then the next morning I'll have a 4 a.m. shift. It's essentially me having 1 hour to be a living, breathing, functioning human so that I can then begin to fix myself for the next day. That's just not a sustainable practice. Is this going to be recurring? Is this going to be back to back? How is it going to work? Nobody has answers. So because no one has answers, I gave myself answers. And it just bothers me that I feel like they're not being sincere with me, but whatever. The business is not mine. And if my hours were to get extremely negatively impacted, I don't know what I'll do, but I'll definitely make a big change, that's for sure. So I'll try to keep you guys posted on how that goes. It's supposed to come into effect within the next 3 weeks or so. So there's no telling what this is going to end up looking like. But it really should not impact me in any way. Whatever, it's not my company, whatever. Then my phone had an incident where I completely spilled some pickled ginger juice over it, and now it is freaking damaged. It seems to be that some of the juice got inside the charging port, so my phone charges when it wants to. I have tried cleaning it, I have tried resetting it, I had tried leaving it plugged for 15 hours. During those 15 hours, the charge fluctuated between 30%, 45, 57, 50, 51, 35, all that good stuff. And then last night, it seemed to have reached 100%. But then I said, how do you go from 61% to 100% in just 10 minutes? And I cannot imagine how this could give me an improper reading of what my battery percentage is. So in the end, I'm thinking, just to be on the safe side, I'm going to try to get an entirely new device anyway, because this one has been giving me problems for about a year now. But in reality, ever since I purchased it, it gave me issues. Not even a whole year having it. I had to have it mailed somewhere so that it could be repaired because of the Bendgate situation that Apple doesn't even want to acknowledge is a manufacturer's defect. But whatever. So it's just been so much in this past week in trying to get a new phone. These things keep getting more fragile and more expensive. And I have been planning for this for a while, but my main concern is my car. It has like this strange noise that has been there for years, but when I go to Toyota, they're like, we cannot hear what you tell us that you're hearing. And I'm like, this is going to get fucking worse. And when it gets worse, that's when they're going to tell me that there's this big hefty bill that I have to pay to get it repaired. And I'm going to be like, you motherfuckers could have prevented this had you listened to me. But for some reason, you went around driving my car, and I told you, if you cannot hear it, let me ride with you so that I can point it out. But if you drive in a noisy ass environment, which is the environment that the service department is at, you will not hear it because it's very, very subtle. But nowadays, it's very obvious that the noise is there. It's the same kind of noise, except that now it's getting louder. So anyway, I've been kind of stressed when it comes to all that because it's a lot of expenses that are coming simultaneously. I just want to be sure that I can make a move on everything without having to affect myself really bad. At least physically, I haven't been feeling horrible. Like, there was a time last month and the month before where respiratory issues along with stomach issues, everything was just getting the best of me. So I'm just glad that I seem to be catching a break from that at the very least. And yeah, it's been a lot of things happening back to back. And also my mom had an accident, nothing too terrible, but she just got hurt while working, so we're working with that. And my father also had something happen to someone that he knows, that he witnessed, and it was an accident as well at their jobs. So he is not feeling his best, and even though I don't know my father, the sole fact that this happened and it has affected him is strange. And since I stay in touch with my brother, I've been able to get a feel for what this whole situation has been like. So my parents are not catching a break. I'm not catching a break. Friends around me are getting sick. The cities are being set on fire. And on top of that, what happened to the CV that's been going around? Everybody must be going like, what? We still are under that emergency? CV who? So anyways, hopefully we don't have another wave, which I'm pretty sure it's coming, but hopefully we are all wrong and nothing happens, and this is really like headed into the end of it. And I have had to avoid the news because A, my phone has been damaged, and B, I just really have not had the time to catch a break for that, for me to like invest myself in that stuff. And in addition, I've also wanted to do stuff on the side to take my mind off things because I feel like I'm still in the holiday season. Just nothing but stress, nothing but work. And I'm like, it's about time that I took off time for me and just invested on something that is healthy, positive, distracting, fun. So we'll leave it at that. Alright guys, well that's pretty much my life update. I hope that you guys are doing well. I'm sorry that the more I try to commit to the channel, the more I fail miserably. So I'm not even going to tell you that I'm going to be back here regularly. If I'm here, I'm here. If I'm not, I'm not. I'll just leave it at that because I just really hate that I am a whammon of my word and I have not been able to fulfill anything that I always fulfill when I say I am going to do it. So anyway, you guys let me know how your life has been treating you, and I will be back here whenever I can. And if I lose my phone, honestly, there's no telling when I'll be able to get back on here, especially streaming. My favorite format is streaming, but I don't know. If I don't have this phone, then there's no way I can make it work. But anyway, we'll see what happens.